We're letting the founders focus on the marketing, focus on the new innovations of the product, right? Really taking the burden of manufacturing off their plate so that they can focus on their founder journey and making sure that, again, they have go-to-market strategy so that when the product is finished, hopefully they've built an audience that they're going to sell to, or they've made those retail connections, right? To get big and go big. And that's really our biggest, push with these clients, is that helping them think bigger about their products.
Do you have a brilliant product idea but don't know where to start to get it made? Or are you looking to level up your product but afraid to take it overseas?
If so, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Jackie.
And I'm Erin, and we are
The Sourcing Gals,
your trusted guides to everything you need to know about sourcing, manufacturing, and scaling your product overseas. Whether you are just starting out or you've been making your own product for a while, we are here to help women source products overseas without the overwhelm.
In each episode, we'll share insider tips, actionable strategies, and inspiring stories to help you source more effectively, save time, and boost your profits. Duh! We know how hard it can be to juggle the ins and outs of product development, but don't worry, we've got your back.
So grab a cup of coffee, get comfy, and let's dive into how you can grow your business,
make more money,
and turn your products into profit. Welcome to
The Sourcing Gals. Now let's get started. High five.
Hi.
Tired of paying for international wire transfers? So was I, and that's exactly why I switched to Mercury. With Mercury, I never worry about fees for domestic or USD international wires. The platform is free, super easy to use, connects seamlessly with QuickBooks, and their credit card perks are hard to beat. I can spin out new cards instantly for my team, earn 1.5% cash back on all purchases, and right now they're even offering a 2.5% cash back on any ad spend. Terms apply. So stop paying fees and start putting money back in your pocket with Mercury. Learn more and sign up today using the link in the show notes.
Welcome to the next episode of
The Sourcing Gals.
We have reached a pivotal point.
Yeah, this is pretty big.
It's pretty big. We are over 50 some episodes, past a year in to recording. And I don't know that a year ago we would have guessed that we would be where we are.
Oh, definitely not. I mean, a year ago, I was still with my other company.
Mm-hmm.
You were just venturing out. Figuring out what your next, journey was going to look like.
Yes. And the podcast really had started as a way to share our knowledge and learnings. And that's it.
Yeah. I mean, to think that we've posted every week consistently for a year, I'm a quick start. Follow through is not always my strong suit. So the fact that we not only started this, but have consistently, it's probably thanks to you, figuring out all the tech and operations piece of it, but we've consistently posted every single Wednesday.
We have.
So I'm really proud of us for that, first of all.
Firstly, really proud of us for that. Secondly, I think that I was giving someone the rundown the other day on a call of kind of who we are and how we arrived where we are. In fact, it was an interview. It was someone that I'm interviewing to take on a role at the Sourcing Gals.
So
exciting. But I was explaining why we started the Sourcing Gals and where a few of the key pivots came along the way and really what that's meant for what we do now. And it was all nicely tied up in a bow when I presented it to this candidate, but it really got me thinking about what 2025 meant and what 2026 is going to mean and how different they are.
Yeah. So we want to talk about kind of a business review in a sense, right? Our Sourcing Gals journey, we haven't been blasting yet really about all the things we're doing.
No.
We've kind of been slowly using our internal networks to test and learn and kind of beta some things out. And we're definitely finding some pretty big wins happening. And so we'd love to talk you, our listeners, through all the different things that the way the Sourcing Gals has evolved over the last year. And to Erin's point, where we're really excited as we look forward, look ahead.
Now, I think when we started with the idea that we're going to educate on a podcast. And then kind of quickly on the heels of that, got so much really good feedback that we decided to launch digital coursework
Correct.
because we knew there was a need for this knowledge. And we felt like with what we had to give, that was the best way to reach the most amount of people and to get as deep into the knowledge as we would want to.
Correct.
And what we saw along the way was interesting. When you looked at the back end of people who are in our coursework, they all got stuck around the same spot.
Yes.
And so we identified what that spot was. And then it opened up kind of a lot of new opportunities to where learning about something in theory, learning about it on a podcast, hearing about it on a digital course is great. And it's enlightening. Enlightening. You guys know what I'm trying to say. But it doesn't promote the action that I think this industry and especially what we do needs.
So coming out of that, I mean, we started our first course that we launched was actually call it our mega course.
Mega.
And with it came one-on-one consulting with us, and we got to meet some great founders in very different niches than we even could imagine people utilizing our course for, but it all completely fits. But then to your point, Erin, we learned that there are some people that wanted a little bit more guidance, that wanted a little bit more help along the journey. And so then we basically added on consulting services, call it. So then we started to get a couple clients in that were, maybe they wanted to do the manufacturing themselves, but they still wanted a partner, right? They wanted some guidance. They wanted someone to be like, no, you're on the right path, or stop, red flag, you're right. Let's pivot hard here, right? So we have some clients that we're still working with to this day that are owning their own manufacturing, but we're helping them through that journey.
As soon as we opened that up, the response was bigger than it was for the digital course. So the response for digital course, good. People needed a little bit more handholding. Opened up the consulting response, very good.
Correct.
And then which leads us to kind of the next thing, which is there was still this need for a done for you service. There's still a lot of people who come knocking on our door who have a brilliant idea and really need the services, the done for you gumption to take it across the finish line.
Correct.
And so we opened that up, which we talk about our clients a lot on the podcast. We talk a lot about this client or that client. And for the most part, they live in that done for you world.
Yeah, we call it our gold glove service, actually, is what we've kind of coined it as. So from DIY coursework to one-on-one consulting to now fully helping launch product-based businesses. And when I say launch, we're taking the whole thing over for them. We're letting the founders focus on the marketing, focus on the new innovations of the product, right? Really taking the burden of manufacturing off their plate so that they can focus on their founder journey and making sure that, again, they have go-to-market strategy so that when the product is finished, hopefully they've built an audience that they're going to sell to, or they've made those retail connections, right? To get big and go big. And that's really our biggest push with these clients, is that helping them think bigger about their products. Because I will say every single person we are working with has some pretty killer product ideas.
Amazing. And I don't think we'd work with a partner where we didn't believe in their product idea. And so that, of course, inspires us daily to work with folks who have phenomenal ideas. And I say folks, they're mostly all women.
Yeah.
And they mostly all have patented ideas, and that's not a prerequisite.
Yeah, not at all.
We certainly have some clients who don't and who are launching more fashion brands, but they are able to focus on their brand.
So I'd love to talk a little bit more about that, because I think where we've been last year was a lot of testing, tinkering, and trying. Now we are still in the midst of launching more courses, getting on more social media platforms. We just launched on TikTok. If you have TikTok, please go follow the Sourcing Gals.
Hop on over there.
We have different content than Instagram. We will be going live here and there. So we are still working on that marketing strategy. Again, as you guys have heard before, Erin and I, we're not master marketers. We're great educators. We're great product developers. We're great merchants. So we're still like learning through a little bit of that, how to get this course into the right hands. But we can clearly see it, especially on TikTok, how many people are asking, but how do you find a factory? So, so we're working on breaking that down for the educational piece. And the consulting one-on-one, like I think that will always be a part, but it's really not the driving factor. Really what has become the main, what we see as the bulk of the opportunity and the excitement that we have moving forward is our startup clients that are really needing our Gold Glove service. And then also we're starting to work with a lot of B2B opportunities. So I'd love to talk about both of those. So let's first talk about our startup clients, because I believe that we have created something very unique to the market. Again, this has not gotten out to public knowledge yet. So by the time this podcast comes out, we maybe will launch it succinct with it. But speaking of launch, we have literally created a launch framework, and it's an acronym, capital LAUNCH.
Yes. And launch is that launch pad. It's the very first step that a startup should take to understand viability, to understand investment, to understand the market segment they're going into, really lays the foundational groundwork for a bigger push, like a bulk order. And the reason we think this is so important is because the very last thing we would ever want for one of our clients is to jump into placing an order with a factory, not doing the groundwork, and then sit on inventory because it's not the right market, it's not the right cost, something's not right about the way it's being sold.
So literally this launch framework, our clients are paying us, the Sourcing Gals, to go and do all this work. To your point, we look at the market, we actually reach out to our factories and start initial pricing. So we have a real cost of goods going in, minimum order quantities, all the things we teach and talk about. We basically take the front end load off of the client and say, let us do it for you. We put together a presentation doc. We talk about brand strategy, again, what their kind of space they're going into, how crowded is it? How, where do we see white space opportunity? Their go-to-market strategy options. We're not going to make those decisions for you, but we're going to tell you based on our experience and our understanding of how your product fits in the landscape, where we think might be the easiest road, path forward. So we're pulling all this together basically over a 30-day period and then presenting it back to the client. We actually just had one of our first live feedback sessions with a client who was going through our launch, and the feedback was fantastic. They are very excited. And then basically what happens is coming out of launch, the client has a decision to make.
Right. And launch is a full-scale business plan.
It 100% is.
We are providing someone with a physical product-based business plan so that they can then, like Jackie was saying, they can take all of that information back, review it with their own, financial appetite for investing in the brand, and say, okay, here's the direction we're going to go. I'm going to take your advice on option B. I want to tinker with option C, what have you. And it gives them all of the knowledge they need to confidently step into the manufacturing realm.
Correct. And we kind of say we do an intake form even before we take someone through launch, because this is not necessarily something that we want to offer. If you don't have the capital to actually go forward with the product, it's probably, yes, you can come and get the business plan still from us. That is totally fine. And then sit on it for 2 or 3 years and save up your capital. That is fine. But the reality is the launch framework is going to show you a viable go-to-market strategy that will, in fact, require some capital investment.
That's the C in launch, friends, is capital investment.
Capital investment. So, depending on where you are in your product journey, we can just offer you launch. But for a lot of our clients that are like, no, I need this and I'm ready to launch, we want to make sure that when they come to us, they really understand that financial scope. Do you have basically, call it 10 to 20K to start at MOQ, and then beyond that, do you have more to fund the marketing? Do you have more to fund a reorder, right? So we kind of say if your appetite for go-to-market strategy plus investment of us helping you do this, plus getting to launch and then reordering, you probably need to be somewhere in that like minimum of $30K, I would say. Like,
yeah, and we do show
savings
people in our launch presentations. We say this is initial investment, and then this is how, if you sell your sell-through rate, and then what your profit would be on that, and then the reinvestment into future product. So giving that kind of roadmap for what your investment could look like, and that helps people to really internalize what their investment's going toward. Tell me this: what if your sourcing agent lived in your browser? Meet Axio. This is Alibaba's AI-powered sourcing engine that understands what you need. It matches you with pre-vetted suppliers, it analyzes trends, it even helps with compliance. If you want to test for a special certification or custom specs, Axio handles that. With the new Axio agent, it automates requests for quotes and follow-ups as well. Even us, the sourcing gals, we have used it to cut sourcing time from weeks to minutes. And with our code, the sourcing gals, your first month is just $1. Then $19.99 per month after that. If you're launching or scaling a product business, this tool changes the game. Try Axio with our code today.
Correct. So like one of our clients that we're working with right now actively in launch, her projected cost of good for her opening order is about like 10 to 12K probably is be what'll end up. But the ROI she makes on that based on her retail.
Yeah, it was like 45.
Yeah. So she's putting in 10 or 12, making 45 back, going to reinvest that, right? So that's just the product capital expenditure. Then obviously we as sourcing gals coming out of something like launch, most clients are opting in for our gold glove service, meaning they want us to actually then go do the work for them.
Make the product.
Make it happen while they focus on other parts of their business. Or some of them actually have other businesses.
Right. And that's what I was going to say, is that a big portion of our clients have another very important aspect of their careers. We have a couple lawyers.
Yep.
A dentist, a marketing exec, construction worker.
Yeah.
We have people who their primary focus might be somewhere else, but that will not detract from their love to bring this product idea to life.
Correct. So then coming out of launch, they are given the option. You would be given the option to say, do you want to continue with the sourcing gals? If so, here is what we project that scope of work to look like. Here is what we think, how long it's going to take you. Is it an 8-week development life cycle is kind of the average-ish, but it can be shorter for some and longer for others, depending on the product category, the complexity of it. And then the goal is that we help you get to purchase order.
Right.
And then we actually place that order and then manage the order on the back end.
Deliver it to your doorstep.
Exactly. So that's really the launch framework is meant to be the starting point for product-based founders that know they want our help, that know they can't do it alone, that have enough of the capital investment that they're willing to pay for our help and again,
and
the product itself, and grow a sustainable business.
Right. That's why we call it launch.
Yes. This is not like for your hobbyist. This is for someone who's like really heads down wants to do it. So that's really something we're excited about. We see a lot of opportunity there as we continue to grow with our clients and help. It's not just, I told someone this the other day, we're not just this fractional product development company. We are strategic partners. Right. So anyone that's signing a contract with us, they're getting us. They're getting Erin and Jackie as well. They're not just getting our team that's going to be talking with the factories or our trusted designers or our marketing, right? Yes, they get access to our network as well.
Correct.
But really, we're hoping to bring strategy and clarity and guidance because we've been doing this for 20 years.
Sure. We just had a full conversation this morning before we hopped on that call about a client who wants to expand categories. They're very well known. This is kind of another business, not a startup, but they're very well known in one category and desire to expand beyond that. So we chatted for a while about what that could look like. And, we're putting our know-how and our corporate expertise into the playing field as well.
Correct.
It's not just we're the messenger.
Yeah. So in addition to, clients that come in at launch and then proceed forward, we have some clients that are already in works, right? Maybe they've done their own launch in a sense. They're existing businesses, but they need help. They need help with scale. They've been maybe cobbling it along at a margin that's not the best. And all of a sudden they're looking ahead and saying, wow, we have some big box opportunity here. One of our most recent clients, and I'm so excited, we're in final contract, so I don't want to jinx anything, but I think it's looking pretty good. We're very excited to work with one another. But they've already created their own product. They were making it and selling it themselves. And they've also landed conversations with some big box retailers. And now they're like, oh, shit.
Yeah, but the big box retailer came along and said, we love this, but we can't buy it legally from you if you're making it in your house. So that led them to come to us. And it's been a really fun opportunity to help someone realize and actualize the goal of their product.
Yeah. So for someone like them, we don't really need to do launch per se with them. They've kind of done quite a lot of that journey on their own, but there are definitely components of launch that we'll be pulling into our service agreement with them to help them get to those cost targets, help them, for them, they know e-commerce more so than they know brick and mortar. So what we're going to bring value, hopefully, is helping them set those retails.
Yeah.
We know what the Nordstrom needs versus what Target needs versus what other retailers are looking for from a margin standpoint. We also know the compliance complexity that goes into working with retailers and the purchase orders and all these things that, unfortunately, the not as glamorous side of product development when you're talking big box retail.
You say not as glamorous, and you're right. It's not glamorous at all, but it's also just often forgotten. I think when anybody thinks about launching your product line, the very last thing you think about is that I'm going to have a 600-page compliance manual that I have to read for every single brand that I sell to. They don't know that.
Yeah. And it's miserable.
It's not great.
It's not fun. Let me tell you, I've been doing it for my own product, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but it's necessary work. It's just one of those things. You gotta do it, and it's to play the game. It's part of the rules, right? So, there's that client is one that's going to jump a little bit ahead and move right into our service-based model. But
our launch program is really for like the
true startups. But we're excited about that. And then also we have, as Erin kind of mentioned, we have some already existing businesses that we're starting to get in touch with that have some pain points, right? Maybe they make sweatshirts and t-shirts, but they want to launch accessories. But for them, that's just not their best at category. And for those of us that live in accessories, like Erin and I have for years, trends change. So one year it's all about a belt factory. The next year belts are out and scarves are in.
Belts are out, scarves are in, scarves are out, necklaces are in, hats are like it's so if you do cover accessories as a brand, you have to be a jack of all trades. And that really just is unrealistic for a lot of smaller brands.
Correct. And it's a different, guess what? A scarf factory does not make belts.
No, they don't.
And a necklace factory does not make a hat.
No, they don't.
So it's really about having a trusted supplier network that's pretty wide reaching.
And you know what? A lot of these brands, what they end up doing is buying things at wholesale.
Correct.
And what that does, because I've worked for brands that do this, what that does is your product is not unique. It's expensive. And if you want to truly expand upon that, if you want to do custom colors, if you want it to be at a price point where you can yourself sell it wholesale, you're handcuffed. You can't.
Correct.
So getting people out of that rut.
Yeah. So again, that's the whole business to business side. That's kind of coming in an organic way, to be honest. It's a lot of it is just organically happening through networking.
And that's why we're here talking about this today. All of it's been organic.
Yeah, we have yet to make, no one knows. You guys are first to hear. Like, no one knows about launch aside from the clients that we're working with
who have been through it,
who have come in and are at that founder stage, but want to go big and want to have someone help them with it. And so it's like, hey, then we pitch them launch, right? But they didn't see it and then come in through the doors with it. But I am excited to start talking about it now that we really are putting a framework. We have literally a framework around it. We have outputs. We have case studies. We have testimonials now of how this is really helping, move people forward at a much faster rate.
Super fast, because this is taking the research and the product know-how and the factory connections and costs that would take a brand years. We do it in 30 days. So our launch program is a 30-day program.
Yeah. And then the goal is that we get you to sample quickly as well, because we just spent 30 days working on the mechanics of your product.
Right.
We've already found the factory at that point. We've already vetted them. We've figured out the costing. So when you think about how long that journey could take on your own, we're doing that for you, also with suppliers that Erin and I have worked with for years. So that's the other perk, right? Is that 95% of the time so far, I think maybe even 100, we've been working with our own trusted suppliers. We're not really bringing in unknown ones as of yet.
Right. And so we talked a little bit at the top of the episode just about how this has been like Jackie said, like test and tinker and kind of develop our way into what this niche is. I think we're both super happy with where it is. We've been really enjoying doing launch for our startup clients. We've been really enjoying helping businesses expand in their categories. And within 6 weeks, how many clients did we get within a 6-week period?
I mean, I think we signed at least 7 or 8, and we have multiple in the hopper right now.
Probably at least that many in the hopper, too.
Yeah.
And so we came into this wanting to educate. We proceeded through last year educating and like with a heavier hand and a heavier hand and a heavier hand. And now for the folks that are like, you can teach me how to do this all day long, I don't want to. I want an expert to do it on my behalf. And so we've just decided, you know what? We are those experts.
Yeah.
We're going to do it.
We're doing it. We are doing it. We're not going to.
Right.
It's been done.
We currently are, which is why we're talking about it. Because again, that tinkering throughout the year has landed us in a spot that for the last 6 weeks, we've been tinkering with this idea and it's been really phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's been really successful. We've had a great response from our clients. And so now we're like, you're right. This is where the year of tinkering landed us.
Yeah. And it's really exciting. And I think we also are here, we hope we're providing a lot of knowledge and guidance and with the podcast. And so now we also are coming with an ask. Like if you know somebody who has been sitting on a brilliant idea and is really ready to move forward with it and wants help to do that, that is what we are here for.
Yeah, send them our way.
If you are an existing business owner and you've always thought about having a product to add to your service-based business, or you're a product founder that's killing it in one category and really wants to expand but doesn't want to take on the workload of what that means, like we're here for that. I don't want to say, or what do they say, a jack of all, an expert of none. Like that's not what I'm trying. A master. Thank you. We're not trying to say a jack of all, a master of none here either. But, for us, the categories that we're really organically are coming to us are accessories. I'd say even the gadget world is falling into a lot of Erin's hard goods background, home goods and decor, and I call it light apparel, cuts, sew items, accessories, sweatshirts, t-shirts, again, light apparel. So, if there's things that are falling in that realm that you think of, like think of us is what I'm asking. Think of us, share our name, share our podcast with someone who is even just starting to toy with an idea. And we hope we inspire. I mean, I told Erin, we haven't officially set a number yet.
For 2026?
For 2026. But I'm kind of feeling like at this rate, we're, only a quarter in with this many clients. Like I was going to throw out launching 25 products to market this year. And I don't think that sounds too crazy at this rate.
No, I don't think it sounds crazy at all at this rate. But I think we should make that our goal. We are going to help 25 of you guys.
Product-based founders
launch
in 2026. Yeah.
I love it.
I think so. So now it's out there. So y'all have to help us. Like I said, I think if all the hopper closes out, we might be at a solid like 12, 13 already, which is, and with products that I do think at this point in the year could easily launch, we're looking to try to launch a lot of these clients come fall.
Because we are in the part of the year where if you're getting started now, and we dealt with this with one of our clients last week. If we start today, we can launch fall.
Yeah.
Pre-fall.
Yep.
Ish. And so even if we were thinking about this with a client earlier on a call, talking about Black Friday, talking about Christmas, really getting ahead of some of those big seasons because those are Q4 is the biggest season in retail.
Correct. So yeah, we just wanted to give you a business update to let you see how the Sourcing Gals has continued to evolve all, while we have a lot of ebbs and flows, all with the sole purpose of helping create products in this world, helping support founders, run successful businesses, and really educating and utilizing our combined 40 years of background in this world, in this arena to do so.
Absolutely. And making what we talk about accessible. If somebody's just dipping their toes in and they want to listen to the podcasts until they get enough confidence to click on the website and to reach out, that's okay. We are here to bring you along the journey. But if you get so far down the journey and you're like, damn it, I'm going to need some help, call on us.
Yeah. I love it. So we will make sure that in the show notes, we have quite a few things linked here. So we've mentioned a lot. We've mentioned our coursework. We've also mentioned our private Facebook community, the Founders Circle, which has a mixture of, if you become a Gold Glove client of ours, you are automatically invited to the Founders Circle, by the way. And if you are not a Gold Glove service client of ours, you can, for a very low cost, come and join in the Founders Circle. It's exciting. Every week we're having new founders join. So make sure that link is in the notes.
Live calls.
Monthly live calls. So you're getting one-on-one access to Erin and myself at least once a month for an hour. But we're also in the Facebook chat all the time, prompting, answering questions. I'm hoping by the time that this launches, this podcast drops, we might even have our launch intake form put up on our website. So I'm going to,
I think we can.
I'm going to put that out there, that we will have a launch intake form also that will be, we can link below, but also on www.thesourcinggals.com, where you can have access to all of our education, podcast, again, launch intake form, or just working directly with us. So we'll make sure that this is all getting fleshed out to you in an easy to access way. And again, we would love any shares you can do, sharing these episodes on social media with your friends and network and circulating our name in a room. We really, really appreciate it. I mean, that's how we have a business right now. It truly has been from other founders, friends, colleagues, just making introductions for us.
Right. And I think that the client you were mentioning earlier, I believe that they were turned on to us from like a friend of a friend of a friend. Like it was quite a chain.
Yes.
It surprised me, but I'm so happy that the network existed and could make that happen.
Yeah. So I'm just feeling lots of love, lots of appreciation, and a lot of excitement for where we're headed.
It's going to go big.
It's going to go big. Everyone get ready. Sourcing Gals are going to take over.
I can imagine. And you're put launch on the website, which we will do that. But I can also imagine a page where we have all the brands that have launched.
Yes.
And like their product.
I love
it. Just so that like readers, I don't know what you guys are reading, sorry, viewers, followers, listeners can go and see the kinds of things that we're making, because they are incredible.
Yeah. I love it.
Ooh, I'm going to do it.
Okay. I'm so here for it.
All right.
Okay. Well, we are off to a busy day. Actually, we have some client work to go get done, because in between these podcasts, we are feverishly working to continue to launch, again, products to market. So thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate every like, share, follow. This is how we are growing. It's because of listeners like you who keep supporting us and sharing what we are doing. So we truly, I can't say thank you enough.
Correct. I can't either. So I'll say it again. Thank you.
Okay, we're signing off now. Thank you all for listening. Next time, we'll see you back here on The Sourcing Gals.